Okay. If I'm not mistaken, you all should be able to listen to me right now. Let me just double check. Okay, so okay, great. Okay, so hello everybody. My name is Epernazo, and for today's video, I'm going to test again the Elf Note. The copium is still alive. I'm gonna keep trying, and I'm gonna keep testing the gamma package. So now, instead of going to the ranked because I'm not willing to play 10 hours just to get high rated, I'm going directly with my friend, and I'm going to help him to play and test some decks because he has a playoff today. Because here in my country, every end of the month, we have a store, Carloncho store, that makes some kind of playoffs with the players that make the better results during the whole month during locals, and they play, I think, for a display or something like that. So my partner is not sure about what kind of deck to bring. So now we are gonna try. We're gonna try to test some of the decks while I keep trying to play the Fiensmith, right? Now, as you can see, I regret to play in this deck almost instantly because we are drawing the Welcome and the Fortuna. So let's think about it. Let me just double check. I'm trying to see. I'm just putting it. Oh, hello everyone. I see that I have already people. Tarrajea tu. Lo siento, algún día. Okay, so let me just see what we can do here. Well, our hand kind of sucks, so I'm gonna try to push for the Fablet because I don't see myself doing any kind of other normal summon. So let's try to push for Engraver giving us the draw and trying to make Orpheus Smith to get into actually our Elf Note cards. I know that we have the continuous, but the continuous will lock us into synchro. So we need to do that almost by the end. So let's try to push with just one card at the moment. And that is why it's very important for you to have the area leader and the crush ship, because without them, you don't have any way to push for your elf node whenever you are making just Fiesmith plays, and that can change a lot when it comes to play the game actually. So now we are just going to make this. Now here, an actual good question that you can make, if it's worth it to make the Fortuna and put the continuous here before we attempt to make the draw with the Necrogrid. I think it's worth it because Nibiru is not real. So that is exactly what we are going to do. Um, I guess it's fine because at least when it comes to single one, and this is why it's very important to read the environment, is always useful to understand what cards are possible in the specific moment that you are playing. So now we are just gonna try to keep making the pushes here. We are gonna try to take a little bit more of gas here. Okay, this kind of sucks, but at the end of the day, in order for the continuous and the trap to actually work, we are gonna need this. We're gonna need monsters regardless. So here we are gonna try to keep pushing for our opponent to make any kind of play, and this is something that you can do whenever you have any kind of extender with engraver in hand. You can push to make both the Caesar and the Desire on the field. So that is what we are going to try to do, because at the end of the day, the welcome will give us the Lucina, will give us the Pavo Real, and the Pavo Real will give us the Lucina, which give us the Tinia. We already have the continuous trap. So let's try to push for that. We are, oh, okay. You see, because the sequence is one of the only threats to make the area leader, it's kind of a choke point for our opponent if he's aware of what we can actually achieve. So now we gain value by doing that. And we are still going to make the Caesar. Let me just see. We started with normal Lurri, so we didn't make the track. We can make, okay, yeah, this is going to be fine. We now keep pushing. We go with the track. And here something that a lot of people forget about track being available now is that with the new fusion, well, not the new fusion, but the new available fusion for the deck now, the Fiensmith Lacrima, track in the graveyard obtains a lot of more value. And now that is exactly what we are going to try to achieve. We are just going to try to keep pushing for more plays here, like this one. We are going to keep pushing so we can still make the Caesar and we can still make the push to keep playing. So we ask if everything is fine here. Now here I will always advise if you are in this scenario to use just the two light defeat monsters, because yes, in this specific scenario you already have the Fortuna, but almost never that's going to be the case. You are almost always going to need to use the Welcome Home to special summon the Fortuna from the deck, and therefore you are almost always going to need to tribute a monster that is not a light. That is very important. You always need to consider that. And now we go with this. Well, we send obviously the Fuwa. For now, that is never going to be a problem because none of our elf nodes are well are actually wing monsters. What I was going to do there is to special summon the elf node power patron, because remember, one of the most important actions when it comes to the elf node deck is to get the power patrol on the field and any kind of level 6 monsters, which is why the Fiensmith combination is one of the best, because you have Engraver, you have Lacrima, you have Necroquip, you have Aerial Leader, you even have the Lacrima Tearsome that will become a level 6 thanks to the Necroquip, and blah blah blah. I can't remember what my opponent was playing. Well, we don't know what our opponent is playing now that I remember. So in that kind of scenario, we are going to try to keep it generic. Yeah, I think yeah, because we have the problem of the lack of information. So let's see. How much longer until Nibiru's not real turns into a hard punish? I think we need to wait at least for maybe one more YCS, because usually now with Nibiru being on the game like 6 years, I think, or 7 years, almost 7 years. Oh shit. Um, let me think about this. Okay, this is fucked because let me think. If we wait until he gets to the no, yeah, that's very sad. We have to hit it. This is why Lucina is such a good card, because even if you negate it, it's so replaceable. So well, while he makes all his shit, let me uh okay, that's a classic in Peru. Okay, so every time Nibiru is not popular anymore, the the people that's always trying to get ahead for the next big tournament is going to try to not respect the NIP and punish the opponent for not using the NIP. And usually this is going to make for decks like Elf Node, for example, that almost always leaves fields with 10,000 negates and blah blah blah, better for that specific environment. And because of this player taking advantage of being ahead, now people are going to be more aware of the need, and probably for the lapses of that YCS to the next one, whenever you play regionals or locals, Nibiru is going to be very popular again. So it's kind of intuition, but you can see that path that is always going to be the constant when it goes to that logic. So let me see. ¿Por qué no sigue? Okay. What? Um. Well, Elf Node is a deck that is not very popular in YouTube, at least at the moment, because everybody is waiting for Regina, and I think it's very useful for everyone and for me too to play the Elf Node and try to see what they can do now and try to understand to the maximum the advantage of every card before the Regina comes out. So whenever the Regina is there, you can already understand the deck and try to give even bigger pushes and try to be ahead for that specific format, right? So that's the first reason. The other reason is because this is my actual favorite deck at the moment, but there's also a competitive approach when it comes to this. And it's something that I advise you a lot to do when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh! Even if a deck is not good at that specific point in time, trying to play the deck will help you to whenever that deck is going to be good, with the new cards that eventually will come out, you will be ahead of a lot of people because you understand the cards a lot better than them. So this is basically why I'm trying to push for Elf Note, at least for now. Obviously, I'm going to make a lot of yummy content too. But now that I'm trying to make these streams that I'm on vacations for 2 weeks, I think I'm gonna have like a little bit of time to do everything, you know. So yeah, that's basically the point right now. So hello, my friend. How are you? What do you think about Malice? And next question: if you have to choose five deck, which is your top five in order? Well, I'm good, and I hope you too. So Malice is actually one of the best decks in the format. I really believe that, and to the point that whenever the ban list came out, I was very disappointed because I was testing with Chaiko Dino, uh, and we were predicting that obviously the white binder is not going to live. And whenever we were testing, we came to the conclusion that, oh, right. um, so we came to the conclusion that whenever the ban list comes, it needs. Oh yes, okay, that's better than nothing. Whenever the ban list comes, it needs to do more than just white binder because whenever we were testing, he was kicking my ass without white binder, and I was really confident that we were going to get something more. So with just white binder and with people not playing Lancia, Malice is probably the best deck in the format. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Malice go Burr. That's actually a fact. So you need. I would advise you to respect Malice a lot. I actually will try to play Malice at some point in the stream. Maybe not today, but I'm trying to first get used to all this shit. Uh okay, so um I'm not sure how I can actually win this, but let me see. Maybe first I need to drink something. I love my countrymen. Chicha morada. Okay, so ¿viste la versión con el material Hero Prisma? Well, the Dark Magician is obviously a very good addition for the deck. So let me now. Hopefully, he don't use the Crystal Wafer. Fuck. Uh, yeah, we are. Um. Yeah, I mean he can negate this. Okay, there's something that we may be able to do. Because he has to negate this, right? He has to. No, maybe he's not going to. But I need him to fuck. No, then we lose. Okay. Ya todos llevan Lancea en el side. Well, I'm not sure if everyone is taking Lancea right now because it depends of the specific environment and it's always a risk. Maybe if people are expecting also decks like Luna Light, it's more easy for that specific environment to play Lancia, but that's not always going to be the case. My opponent, I already know what's playing, right? He's playing the same shit as me, so we are using this shit for sure. Maybe not, but we are using these ones definitely. Um, I think these are four. Yeah, these are, yeah, maybe we are keeping these ones. And we may be taking this. No, that's stupid. Yeah, I take this one of them. Yeah, I don't like the bell so much for this match when I'm going first, but what gives? I need to read the comments. Okay, let me just see. Um, Malice has a tougher time playing through hand trap sometimes. Yeah, but you need to also consider how many of the people playing today. We don't give a fuck about that. So you need to also consider how many people today still were playing at the times of Malice being the top deck. Because if you're facing an opponent that only had like 1 week to understand how Malice cards work, you have the advantage. If you, for example, were playing the deck for like, I don't know, a year, for example, right? So those are always kind of things that you need to consider. And let me just go with this. So let me see another comments here. And as I was saying, I don't think all people is playing Lancea now. If you can make the analysis and the conclusion that for the specific event, people are not going to play Lancia, I think that you will be in a very good position if you decide to make the deck. So let me see. Maybe he has something more, but I'm not willing to give him the draw if I don't see what he's going to draw first. This is my favorite part of Theoralize. I'm not gonna lie. When I'm available to know what the next draw for any Mucharmis is going to be, that's my favorite part. If I know that he's going to draw any kind of, you see, now, this is tough. So we can make almost all the combo, and yeah, I think I'm gonna keep giving him that. Yeah, I think that's going to be fine. Now we are keep pushing with Medios the Pure. Now let's see if he does something, right? Because Ghost Bell is almost an option. A really good card against this deck is, I think, Diddy Crow. Because, for example, in this scenario, the Medius needs to return first. And after that, is going to do this shit. Well, we're returning the Lucina because we are under the Mulcharmy. So that's life. And now we are keep pushing. Hopefully he hasn't. Okay, he has anything else. Now let me just think about this. We can. Let me see the comments first. Malice, you could argue you to play Lancia. I mean, I don't think Lancia is that definitive against the Crystron, and the Lancia is going to activate the all the Kenai shenanigans, right? So I don't see too many people making that conclusion. Now let me just think about this. I think we can still leave the Caesar here, and we don't need any kind of we don't need any kind of let me think about this for a moment. We can make with a. I don't see why we will give him a draw at that point. Like, let me see. We can go with the Armada. We don't need the Armades. That's the point because, or we do. Yeah, we do need the Armades. I'm talking bullshit. Yeah, we do. I was trying to see if there was any kind of worthiness in making the directly the Omega, but we don't. We need a body without giving him any draw still. So we are keep doing this shit this way. So let me see. I'm going directly with the Fortuna. I really don't want to put myself in a position when I exposed to any kind of Ash. So let me see. Yeah, but a Reaper. I mean, yeah, but a duel is 5 cards against 5 other cards, right? So I don't see people thinking Lancia being the direct answer against Tristan Canine. That's my point. Let me just think about this. I think we are still going for the Caesar. Yeah, because this is post-sided. So most likely my opponent is still going to have. Oh shit. Ah, okay. Obviously my opponent is not going to pass. It's not. But this is when you can completely conclude that I'm not a DB player. Let me just see. We are returning this. And we are returning this, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, we need to return this too. We can go with the Lacrima. The Lacrima will revive Lacrima. Then we can use the Requiem. Okay, we keep pushing. This Necroquip is one of the greatest fusions I ever saw as a TCG exclusive, bro. It's ridiculous how great the card is. So now we go for the Caesar here. And we are giving him the draw. Yeah, we are giving him the draw right here because the Ash is not going to do anything at this point. And to the point that he is going to use it is going to be completely useless because here we send here the sequence. We already have the Pavo Real. We can still make this. We will go with this. And now what I'm thinking is, yeah, I think I'll go with this. I'll revive the Pavo. I I really would like to summon the Tinia, but I don't feel that's the best scenario for me. I think this will be better. I still have the body without exposing myself to Super Poly to tribute the Rhapsodia, and the Seraphine can special summon the Tinia in my opponent's turn. So yeah, I think this is good. Yeah, I think we're fine. Now, something that I think is really worth it is to use this in standby, so the trap can have, ever since the main phase, something to negate. Because maybe he can, we don't know with what he's going to start, right? Yeah, obviously we're going to make the Caesar anyway. That's the shittiest, that's the easiest thing ever. So yeah, he's going to summon this shit. We don't care. Now I wonder what he's going to do. Now let me think about this. I think it's worth to pop it because even if he has the Tinia needs to push for the continuous, and we have the Ash for the continuous. Yeah, I think that's worth it. Yeah, I'm gonna push for Lucina not resolving here because we know one of the cards is Ash Blossom, so he needs to play with the other three. Good boy, you play the Fiance Me Trap. I was trying to play the Fiance Me Trap, but I decided not to at the end because the quality of that card being a brick is just so heavy for the deck for the specific scenario of just drawing the Fiance Smith. And when it comes to specifically the Elf Note Fiance Smith, let me think about this. Is it worth to ash this? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's worth to ash this. You need to respect the track, especially ever since the Fiance Smith level seed came out, because as you can see, there's a lot of shit that you can do with that card. Uh, Vanquish Shoal Canine better. I mean, yeah, Vanquish Shoal is a really good deck right now because of how much they can take an approach for the Izuna. Like, Izuna is one of the best hand traps in the game, and with all of the decks right now using effects without any kind of consideration, like without thinking about Izuna that much, I think it's really worth it to try to play the Vanquish Canine. Like, you have 3 Rasen, 3 Stage Your Soul, you know. That's fine. Lucina is just so good, man. It does so much. Even here with me trolling him, he still can make, for example, the full Fiensmith shit. Well, it's not that much, right? Because it's just going to be like the stupid Caesar. But it's still something, right? Like, if you start with Engraver and you get rolled, you don't do anything. So I wouldn't be complaining that much. I mean, there's another things that he can do, I think. Well, let's see what he decides to do, right? Because at the end of the day, is for him. Let me see. Okay, yeah, blah blah blah. Let me read the chat in the meantime. Isuna. So I wouldn't say Isuna is unfair. What I will say though is that whenever a format don't respect Isuna, Isuna is going to be most of the time the best card. So the best card when it comes to hand traps because it does so much by itself, and whenever it is combined with any hand trap, it's going to do a lot more. And that to me is kind of ridiculous. Wait, wait. I'm getting distracted. No, 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 no. Okay. Yeah. So because whenever there's a format that you don't need to actually make effects from the hand or the graveyard, Isuna is really going to suck. Because, for example, when Izuna came out, the nobody was playing. People were playing Yami Pure, and Yami Pure, you can do shit against that deck, right? So, okay, this, for example, in this specific scenario, would have been the Fiasmic Trap. You know what I mean? Like, I know Gamma right now is not the best card, but it's better than the Fiasmic Trap. Like, at least I know that. Whoa, I am the best player in the world. You see? What will the Fiesmith trap will have done in that position? We have done shit. Okay, we never summon here. Like I need to get used to that shit. Okay, so now we make all of this. This is the dream scenario. We hand trap our opponent. We wait making waste one hand trap thanks to the gamma, and then we take another hand trap. So this is almost never is going to happen. But whenever it happens, it's going to be nice, right? Like look at this shit. It's ridiculous. Now we're going to take the Nibiru. Oh shit. Damn. Okay, now all we need to do is just keep pushing. He already used the ash, so all we need is just to protect ourselves, and then we are done. We can make the OTK because we can save the Lucina all the way to the end because we didn't make any kind of normal summon. So we are going to be able to leave the Desire and the Caesar before we make all of that. So we are protected for Nibiru or any kind of hand trap that, well, like that could make a problem at that point. So let me see. We send this, then we punish our opponent to try to do weird shit. Yeah, I think it's worth to make the draw. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, why not? So, well, there's no need to make this in defense. Now, yeah, I think we make for the engraver. The only issue here is that we already make the track. So we are going to have to make the draw. Oh, nice. Now, let me just think about this shit. We don't need the theoralize, so let's do this without the theoralize, okay? Because we already used the Fiensmith track, we need to make, okay, this and that. Okay. Let me think about this. Yeah, I think we are going to make the Lucina here. Yeah, sadly, we can make the greedy combo because we already made this. Oh, nice. Oh, so he actually had it. But it's not going to matter because we play the best card in our extra deck. Link Spider, you need this card. I beg you. You need to play this card. Please. Please play it. And now our opponent is automatically going to concede. Right now. Well, anytime. Well, no, he not. Well, wait. Well, then we play. Okay. Okay, you see, like the deck can actually make pushes. Like, obviously, that was kind of a dream scenario, but the deck is good at the end of the day, and I think it's worth playing. Now we know that our opponent is playing the same deck, so now we are going to try to punish him. I think we don't need this, we don't need this, we don't need this. That is a pretty heavy combo deck, so I really need to prioritize drawing actual cards. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This ain't that good. 7, 8. Maybe 9. I don't like that. I don't like Theorlight that much, to be honest. Yeah, maybe we can take one. Just one hand trap in order. Yeah, this may work. Okay, let's see. I agree. I don't know why people don't play Spider. Oh, people not playing Link Spider in Elfo. No, they are crazy. Like you need Link Spider. That's just a reality. Okay. Well, this is my fault. This is me trying to test weird shit. That's not going to help me. But I really want to take this out of my head. I think this is a good card. Like right now, it's not going to do almost anything, but yeah, unless our opponent is greedy. No, it's not greedy. Shit, we're okay. So This will be a very good time to read the chat because my opponent is going to do everything. Let me see. One gamma, one driver is crazy. I mean, it's not the end of the world. One gamma, one gamma, I think is very underrated when it comes to any kind of deck that in their develop of their combo always is going to consider or value having a monster or card in their hand to use as a fodder for the resolution of their engine. For example, back in 2023, the best hand trap in my Purelli deck was definitely 100% Gamma. Gamma was already at 1 by that point, but it wasn't a problem for me or for the Purelli deck because at any point of any development of the Purelli cards, you need to discard because of the quick spells. So whenever you draw the gamma, it's not different at whenever you draw any other four cards with any other one card that you eventually will discard anyways. And whenever you draw the actual gamma, it's going to be completely amazing, you know? So it's always you never value or disvalue any card unless you make the specific analysis in the specific space and time that you are making the value of that card or the disvalue of that card. You feel me? It's very important. I know it sounds like a lot of weird shit, but I think it's very imprescindible when it comes to the value of the cards. For example, to make the conclusion that you need to make the conclusion. Espera. Okay, so as I was saying, yeah, and I think it's part of the beauty of the game, right? You need like to find enjoyment in these kind of things to okay, what's the value of this card? Okay, what is the impact of this card whenever I decide to play it and blah blah blah. You know? The delta is the one that whenever I try it, I hate the card. Like even I think I only resolved it once and I lost regardless. Oh shit. Okay, I think I'm losing this one, boys. Ah, come on. Uh, um, thinking. I think I'm drawing. I think I'm drawing. Yeah. No, no. Let's. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's let him hire the role. Yeah, I know. The best nib I ever draw in my life. Oh shit. Okay, that's not good. Um. Yeah. Well, I actually need to play. So yeah, I think the Radiant Typhoon cards are not working, guys. What do you think? Do you think these draws are gonna change the game completely? Ah, okay, maybe they didn't. Mm, okay, but he doesn't have that much, right? I mean, maybe we can play this. Let's try. I'm going with Engraver. Oh, okay. 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 Okay, bro. Fuck me. Fuck me, I guess. Um. Okay, the Radiant Typhoon cards are not working, guys. Are not working. So for the next stream, they are not going to be here. Okay, so I just need to take one more card. I think I'll take a nib. No, I'll take a ghost bell. Yeah, I'm trying. I'm still testing to leave one Fuwa for the crossout because we can still use Fuwa as a wing attribute for the homecoming or the Rhapsodia, right? Yeah, I think I'm good here. I think two hand traps would have been better. Yeah, no, no, definitely. With this example, we can came to the conclusion that it was definitely better to have two hand traps there. So yeah, I'm gonna rethink the approach for the next video. Oh no. Okay, let's have some faith, boys. Oh, gracias, Belén. Te quiero mucho. Let me just see. Okay, this is the time. Okay, let's. This is the time when prosperity is gonna shine the most. Okay, obviously we take this shit out. Let me see what else we take. Okay, we take. We are not going to respect the nib at this point because we're fucked, obviously. Let me see. This is kind of optional too. We are taking this. Obviously, we are going to banish seeds, guys. So we can take these ones because otherwise the advancement cards will be shit. We still need to take two more though. Yeah, we taking this. And we this is so tough, man. But it's something that you need to do. You see, you need to do this because this is Yu-Gi-Oh. This is real Yu-Gi-Oh. This is actual real life situations that you're going to face. Fuck. You see? Shit. Okay. Uh. Okay. Yeah, I think the engraver will be fine. Yeah. Yeah, if we banish three, we will have got the track, which is kind of the same at this point. But yeah, I play 16 hands. Oh, this feels terrible. But at the end of the day, this is the real situations that you're going to face. Like something that I don't like whenever a lot of people show gameplay or thoughts about Yu-Gi-Oh is that they are not showing you this. This is real Yu-Gi-Oh. This is something that you are going to have to face at some point, anyways. This is going to happen, and you need to actually be in the play these positions because otherwise you ain't going to do shit. So let's see what we can do. So we still can make the a lot of interruptions with what we have left, and if our opponent is willing to let us do that, well, I'll be gladly to show you. I don't know how to actually phrase that shit. I'm sorry. So now, well, sadly, we can push for the idea of making the necrocrypt here because that's life sometimes. But we still can make it. You see, we still can make it. We are so fucked. Well, we tried. We tried. We did our best. We did our best, and we will try in the next turn. Now, most of you will say, "Oh, this shows that Pod of Prosperity sucks, bro." This Pod of Prosperity will have been a Tinia because I only play one Tinia. Imagine this same scenario with the Tinia. I will have made a special Tinia effect. I will have got Imper, and I will have set two pass regardless. I wouldn't have any kind of follow up in that scenario. Here I have three different ways of follow up: a monster that he needs to get rid of, the Lacrima reviving the Requiem, and the engraver already in the graveyard. Now you tell me, what situation do you prefer? You tell me what you prefer. DDD and four hands can definitely win. Yeah, but you are in a position when um, you don't banish the Necrocrypt. Oh wait, what happened? Come on, man. Okay, we have faith. We know he needs to have a tiered extender right here to keep playing because otherwise these don't do shit. That's the problem, and that's something that I don't really like with the Medius. The Medius, whenever it's interrupted, don't do fuck. Um, yeah. Okay, now I think I'm going to let him do all his shit, and then I'm going to. No, I'm not sure. Hmm. I'm not sure. Le- Uh, I'm not sure. If I ash this, what else can he make? Yeah, I think I'm gonna ash him too, but I really want the monster from the Nibiru. But then what kind of other extender he can have after this? He can make normal summon the Pavo. Maybe he can go with the Tinia already in hand. Yeah, that's a possibility too. Yeah, I think I'm going to ash the truck. Yeah. I'm gonna try to kind of force him to use all his plays because now he not only needs to get rid of these two on the field, but he needs to then try to leave something. Okay, yeah, he's gonna try to keep playing. Now he's gonna special summon the Tinia. Oh shit! This is even better. He's going to use all of his cards. Nice. Okay, but this is a problem, I think, because now this is still a problem, right? Because he will have. I mean, the problem right here now is that he can make the Caesar already. Yeah, he can make the Caesar. Yeah, I think I should have let him go at this point. Okay. Oh, he's not respecting the nib. He's just not respecting the nib. He just don't care at all. Okay. Okay. Oh no, he's just feeding the graveyard. Yeah. He hadn't made the still. Let me just think about this. Yeah, sure. Why is he doing all of this? Oh, it's because he has the track. Oh, thank you. I don't know if I want him to draw. Creo que ya lo hiciste. Yeah, I think he already did this. If he goes with the Caesar right here, he can still make all of his shit. Yeah, I think it was a mistake to use the Ash in the track. I should have waited because now he can play around the nib without any issues. Because now the situation here is that if I let him do the Caesar here, he can still revive the engraver and go with the aerial litter play and then do everything else, and then I'm just losing the game. So now, yeah, I think that's the problem here. Well, that's the lesson, guys. The list. Okay. Maybe. Because now the only thing that he needs to do, like he can do almost everything, I think. Uh, it was just lucky his last two cards were able to be fused. I know that this is. I know that you can say that. You can conclude that yes, this is a very specific situation. But at the end of the day, every single duel is a specific situation. So you need. So maybe with this kind of insight now and the possibility of this being an option, because this wasn't the only option. There was any other possibilities to try to get punished by using the Ash first. But at least because now we are seeing what happens or what can happen if you do that. I think for the next time I'm gonna try to do it backwards, and maybe we'll see what happens for that next scenario, right? I never like to just say, oh, it's because of luck, because whenever you start to do that shit, you are going to get to a point where you are not trying to see what you could have done better, you know. And when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh, it's all about finding enjoyment while getting smarter by thinking about Yu-Gi-Oh. So I never try to see. I never try to do this approach of, oh, you were lucky, like fuck you. And I think we are still winning because I forgot that in order for him to make this push, he needed to use already the cross ship. So as you can see, the Fiensmith cards are not that good when they are not making Elf Note cards. So I get the 280 and the 8. You see, this could have been the Fiensmith board, the Elf Note board, the Crystal Wind, the Trap card, all the Elf Note in the graveyard. But because you already used a part of the bridge, well, you are kind of fucked. And as you can see, me banishing seeds is still irrelevant because now that I have actual follow up, I can actually win. Isn't that amazing? Oh shit. Okay, so I am kind of dead. What we can do with 400 life? Mm, now, what do I wanna do here? Um, do I want to make the engraver on my? Yeah, I think I wanna make this. Yeah, I think I'm going to do this now because I definitely don't wanna draw another engraver. Oh, yeah, what am I doing? I'm just stupid. Okay, yeah, it's still better. It's still better than leaving the Requiem because otherwise he can just negate the Requiem in the draw or the standby. Okay, yeah, this is the most useful draw of all time, for sure. Okay, let me see what we can do here. Good thing is that we have the trap, the Fiensmith track in the graveyard already. Those claims aren't gonna get solved on their own. What the fuck? Okay. Hopefully I activate the hidden messages because I knew that there were going to be stupid dipshits. Let me see. What can we actually do? Um, we don't have that much, but our opponent don't know that, and our opponent only has one negate. Only one negate. How can we interact with just that one negate? Let me think. We can target him. He has more attack than us. Okay. I think the first thing that I need to do is this. You know what? This will no, that wouldn't have worked either. So here, maybe I should have banished the Armades instead of the SP. Yeah. Let me think about this. I think I'm going to need to normal summon the Ash. I think that's going to be important because if he negates the sequence, I can still go with the track. But what I'm not sure what is going to do. Is there a way that we can make this guy? This is a level 10, this is a level 3. Yeah, I think is we can target him. Cause I mean even if we have Chaos Angel, we will have need to target any one of these two. So okay, let me see. We can go with that, but that don't help us at all. Yeah, I think we're doomed, guys. Yeah, we need a better draw, I think. Okay, let me see what if. Okay, but again, don't think it was Prosperity's fault because at the end of the day, we will have been in an even worse situation if this Prosperity were the Tinia. The only reason why we had a chance to win, even after using bad or hand traps, it was only because we had the Prosperity instead of the Tinia. Okay. Uh, okay, so now my guy has to go back to work because he's not on vacation. So now let's go back to this. Let's go back to this for a moment. Um, well, from what we can see here, I wanted to take a brief moment to discuss here. As you can see, the Tinia was a really worse situation as a starter than the Prosperity in that specific scenario. So I think that the Prosperity is still a better approach because because in other combinations and by themselves, Prosperity in comparison to the card that you will put there is always going to be better. Always, even in that scenario when you can think that we lost because we didn't have the little knight or the Desiree anymore, we actually got to that position when we could have still play because our extended and way to play was the engraver after the Prosperity instead of just the Tinia. So Here, I think we can play one more, but I want to take these three because they suck. So I think I'm just going to maybe put some random shit. Well, I'll think about what to put here. Let me see. I think the crossout and talents could be Perulia. You mean this? I mean, I can do this. This I can agree with. The problem with crossout, and maybe we can take time to discuss the actual deck, like having it here for everyone to see and to discuss some points that you may have some doubts. The thing with crossout and why I think is very important for this deck is because you need to understand the biggest weakness of the deck, especially if those weaknesses are popular. And sadly enough, this deck is very weak against the Fuwa because most of the time you are not going to get rewarded when you draw a combination of cards against the Fuwa. You are going to get rewarded against Ash, Imperm, Droll, Bell, Nip, Purulia, talent C, whatever you want, when you draw combinations of cards. You are going to get rewarded when you draw Lucina and Theoralize. But when you draw Lucina and Theoralize and your opponent, who was you, is the same shit as if you draw only the Lucina, because the Lucina is the only extender in all of these assholes that plays around Fuwa in a decent way without playing the Fiensmith trap. And that's a very heavy issue. So I think Crossout and Call by the Grave are very important in the main deck of any Elf Node deck. Any Elf Node deck. Um, Let me see. We want to side into the talent and cross, in my opinion, where we know we are going first. I agree with that argument with the talent. I can even give you an argument to not play talents anymore. Because I don't because there's not that matchups when you it's going to be actually helpful, and especially with one of the most popular decks in the format being a board breaker in the Radiant Typhoon. So there's even an argument to not play the talents. However, and your argument for playing the crossout in the side deck is really an argument that I agree with, but not for this specific deck. Because I really need to emphasize on this. Medius, Theoralize, Engraver, Tract, all of these starters are really worse when it comes to face the Fuwa. So you need to respect the Fuwa even more than any other deck in the format right now. But yeah, I don't play talents anymore. Yeah, I know. I didn't play talents too. I was just trying to test it for the Elf to see if it was actually, usable. But I don't like it either. So there's four spaces here. And let's see. I understand you want to be able to make full board as often as possible, and yeah, not only to make the board as often as possible, but as consistent as possible. So even if you are not in the position of facing the Fuwa with the crossout still is going to be the best extender available in your deck because it's going to allow any of your other cards to resolve. And well, at least when it comes to the Elfnode deck, whenever it resolves, it feels like one of the best decks in the format. So even without the Regina, without the Dragon the Dragon hand trap that shows synchros and do like four things at the same time, like even without all of those cards, this deck still feels unfair with the Embor that you are leaving if it resolves. The problem is to get there. To get there is really tough, especially with Mulcharmi Fuwalos. Um, I play Secret Village. The Secret Village I know is kind of a tech, but again, I think the problem with the deck is not the Embor that you are leaving, but getting to the actual Embor. That is why, for example, in the extra deck, you are trying to value a lot the utility cards in the extra deck. You are trying to value the cross ship, you are trying to value the link spider, you are trying to value the phablet, you are trying to value the aerial eater, and even you are trying to value cards like Necroquip that can change the attribute of your Fiensmith so the combo can get done better without less cards, etc. You need to value more these kind of cards than the bosses because at the end of the day, even without a lot of the cards that people may think are needed in the extra deck, you still have a lot of the high quality bosses in the extra deck. Like, let's put this for a moment so you can see them here. You have the Fowlet, an excellent disruption. You have Crystal Wing, an excellent disruption. You have Desiree, another excellent disruption. You have Caesar, another excellent. These disruptions are so good that all of them are negates. All of them. All of them are literal negates that also can get rid of a card from the opponent. This takes control. This destroy when negates. This sends when it goes to the graveyard. This destroy when it negates. This is 2026. We have Baron de Fleur and Borrel Savage banned because they were consistent negates that you could leave as an endboard. And this deck has 4 different negates with a fifth in the form of a searchable continuous trap that is difficult to interact in a format that for a long for in a game that for a lot of years were monster center based in the develop of the competitive meta. So as you can see, this deck has already a lot of bosses that so cards like, for example, you may think about the Dragster is redundant because you already have enough bosses that should let you win the duel. These are straight negates, 5 straight different ways to negate. You still have the Little Knight, you still have the Omega, you still have the else no names that are still also interruptions. So I'm just trying to emphasize in this because I think this is a really heavy misconception of the deck. There's people even that are playing this stupid like I don't remember the name. The Unity like this asshole. This card sucks, man. Junora is the worst Elf-No card on the deck. It's so bad that you really shouldn't be playing it, even if you have 20 cards in the extra deck, because there's still 5 other better cards to put than Junora, at least for now. So let me just read the chat a little bit. Deberías dejar de compras antiguas y más originales. Oh, well, let me just show you that I'm gonna leave the rant of the Elno here a little bit. This is what I try to do for the last regionals. I was trying to play without the Fiensme trap, and I was trying to use the Carousel instead. And I have to tell you, the best decision of my life. This was really great. I really felt very comfortable because every single time that I drew the Carousel designator, I was thinking, what would have I done if this card were the Fiensme trap instead? So at least for the tournament that I played, I felt that it was fine. But again, this regional that I play with this deck is the worst regional I ever played. Like that was my worst performance. So even though this card felt great, I'm not sure if I can give you an update, like a heavy update right now. I was also trying to play these cards. I I was trying to see how much you can get away with using just a minimal of the Radiant Typhoon engine because yes, you can say just play 3 MSTs directly, which now I think is kind of better. But what I was thinking at the moment of trying to test just this little package is first MST is great going first or second in this meta. Second, the the Yami Fiesmi deck is a deck that in the develop of their combo can search 2 different quick spells that they may not need in the develop of their combo. Oh, and why I'm saying this because yes, obviously the Yami cards search the Yami surprise, and not always you are going to need the extra monster that the Yami surprise implies. And therefore you can, and this I know is very specific, but it's something that convinced me to try to play 2 visions instead of just 3 MSTs because of the weird scenario when you are going to brick and the Radiant Typhoon can save your ass by discarding a quick spell that either is one of the bricks that you have, or the other specific scenario when you don't need to use the quick spell, so you can use it to draw 2 cards because then after that you still can recover it with the marshmallow. So you will still have the surprise and an interruption, and you just draw 2 cards, right? Um, whenever you draw these 2 combined, you can use one to draw and discard the other one. You can use one to discard, one to draw and discard, the other one to search MST. So I was just trying to test and play with this weird shit. I even played it in the main deck actually. I think it was some shit like this. I can't remember right now. I think it was something like this. Yeah, some shit like this. I was trying to test how much the MST can actually be good. And I like it, but again, this was the worst regional I ever played to the point that I make a video about it. So, you know, another thing that I really like is the Baphomet. I didn't miss the Link Spider, but maybe Nibiru is going to be popular again. So, this is something that you need to consider. Also, another thing that I would really advise you maybe not play this shit anymore. And I'm gonna tell you why. Wait, let me just don't save this and open it again. Okay, maybe don't play this shit anymore. Why? Because yes, it's really good against Evenly Match. It's really good against Radiant Typhoon. And at least in my region, Evenly Match is becoming a really popular card. The problem here is that Radiant Typhoon, the deck that you most of the time you are going to use the Diablesse, is now not only playing Radiant Typhoon cards or a heavy spell, quick spell approach in their deck in order to make the Radiant Typhoon more consistent. They are also starting to play. Oh, come on, my dramatic effect. Okay, they are also starting to play Lava Golem. They are also starting to even play the Kaiju that is Wind, so they still can make a normal summon. So in this new environment, I don't see how this Diablesse is going to survive because now it's not only for allow to your opponent to make droplet, crown, all the Ryan Typhoon quick spells in the draw phase because you still don't have the Diablesse on the field because these can only revive it in your opponent's turn, right? It's now not only that downside. It's now also the downside that you have to face and pray that your opponent don't have the Kaiju or that the opponent don't have the Lava Golem. So I think that approach now is dead. I think something I don't see how any other floodgate can solve the issue of having to deal with the new side deck of the Radiant Typhoon. So maybe something that we can do is try. I'm not sure. But I think I have a strategy, but I'm gonna try to test it a little bit more. Maybe just going second approach at this point because you going first against both Mulcharmies, against all the powerful quick spells that they play, against also the Kaiju and the Lava Golem that are also a problem, even without you special summoning the goddamn Diablesse. I think with all of that in mind is the perfect moment to try to push for going second and try to take advantage of that. However, that will make this side deck to be completely different to try to make that an actual good and consistent decision. So the Yami Fiesta is something to think a little bit more in the future. And in the meantime, I'm just having fun playing my favorite deck, a deck that I actually created. Maybe that this is why this deck sucks so much. No, I'm just fucking around. I'm really happy with this deck, and I really enjoying playing it. So what I was about to say. Regardless of that, I'm obviously going to make a lot of more Jammy videos. As you can see, there's a lot of shit to talk about. There's 3,000 decks. There's even with my old account. Let me just see. There's even more shit that we can talk about for the future. For example, this. I really think that you playing this Yu-Gi-Oh will make you better. You playing this format will help you understand what Yu-Gi-Oh really is. No, nevertheless, to the point that I should advise you to play this. Play this with me even. Like send me a DM or whatever to any account. I'll send you the deck list and we will play mirror match of this like we were in 2002. And you will realize that this is one of the smartest and grindiest Yu-Gi-Oh formats you will ever play. You actually need to think. You actually need to rationalize your decisions for turn 3, 5, 7, and maybe 9. So maybe I'm going to make the next stream duels with this format so you can see my inner decisions whenever I play this, so you can understand how much in depth, and how much complex Yu-Gi-Oh was always ever since the beginning. So maybe I'll do that for another occasion because I really think, and I'm being dead serious right here. This is the most serious shit you will ever hear from today's stream. This is necessary for you to understand how to really play Yu-Gi-Oh, because this will help you to understand what Yu-Gi-Oh really is. I will go in these kind of explanations and philosophies with the next streams too, because we have a lot of time to talk. We have a lot to discuss. We have a lot to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh, because when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh, the intellectual reward that you get and that you can achieve when you think about it is infinite. That is why I love this game, because I love the intellectual reward that it implies. So I'm going to end the stream at the moment right now with this message of you of what I'm going to show you in the next streams. I'm going to show you the 2002 format. I'm going to keep showing you the elf node duels, because as you can see, the elf node deck is actually good. You can actually do a lot of good shit and maintain a consistent extra deck with cards like Aerial Eater. You don't need to play two Power Reales. You don't need to play three Medios. You rather have cards like Crossout or Pod of Prosperity. I am also going to make the road for the Yami Fiensmith steel. And there's a lot of other decks that we are going to talk about. We're going to talk about Malice. We're going to talk about Orcus. We're going to talk about the Diablestar with the new Spellcaster cards. There's a lot of things to talk about. And there's something very important to talk about today, later, because there's a tournament in my country, a season called the King of Locals. By every end of the month, people that did the better, the four people that did the better in the whole month in this store locals, Carloncho store, they face a playoff, a semifinal directly between all just the four of them, the direct elimination, all of them playing for a display or two, I think. They are going to make a stream. The one of them is a YCS champion, a continental runner-up, multiple time regional tops, blah blah blah. Other guy is multiple time regional champion, multiple time YCS and continental tops. One other guy is something that is something kind of new, and the other one is the one that you I was playing against in this stream. So I know all of these people. I'm going to make inside commentary of the live stream. So that may be at night. So I'm going to be back today with a new live stream making commentary of those playoffs. So I'll see you later. Thank you all for being here. Bye bye. Like, thank you all, but I appreciate you being here.